Hi, folks. I'm Gary.
I'm Prak.
Welcome to another Points of Interest. And we've got a great show for you today. We've got a great interview with the mastermind, the drone mastermind, Eno Umoh. And he's going to talk to us about what he's doing with his business and tell us a little bit how he is helping people get their drone businesses off the ground. Plus, we've got cool drone stuff, we got news stories, and Prak tips coming up on this episode of Points of Interest.
Exploring the people, places, and technology in the growing drone industry. This is the Points of Interest DroneCast.
So we've got a great interview for us today. A guy who's doing so much more than just flying drones. Matter of fact, I don't think he flies drones much anymore, except for teaching drones.
He helps people make money with drones.
That's right. And it's really cool because, he explains in the interview some stuff about how he got started. He didn't explain all this. I read some stuff about him beforehand. His father owned a business in Baltimore. His father's construction business began to slow down. And that was when it occurred to him that the only way you ever could stay in business is
pivot.
half your business, well, not pivot, but you've always got to be marketing. You've always got to be marketing. Otherwise, it's going to dry up at some point.
True.
And so he's turned this love of drones and his love of business into a really wonderful business to help drone people. So let's take a look at this interview.
All right.
This is Eno Umoh. All right. Hey, welcome to the show. We have Eno Umoh. Am I saying it right?
That's correct.
Fantastic. Well, this is a really great pleasure. I've been following you for a while. I love your content that's on the web. I mean, absolutely great stuff. And I got to know you through that. You have Global Air University, Global U, Global Air Media, and Drone Masterminds, right? I mean, those are the major things, right? You are incredible with all those businesses I've kind of seen you forming, and you've taught in 26 different countries with these businesses. Incredible. Welcome to the show. Appreciate what an honor.
Thank you so much for having me. And really just appreciate the opportunity to talk drones and business and everything in between. So thanks.
Well, you were truly, as Pitbull says, Mr. Worldwide. I mean, if it comes to drones, you are Mr. Worldwide. So, so tell me a little bit how it got started for you.
So my drone story starts back in 2015, and this was like right when people were starting to talk about the uses of drones in different areas. And I'm originally from Baltimore, Maryland, but my father's from Nigeria, and every year he would take us to Nigeria to, see family and just kind of, see that side of the world. And one year I was in Nigeria and I saw a drone being used for film and photography to film like an outdoor event. And really just, caught my eye. And I said, wow, this is some really cool technology. And over the years, watching my dad run his own business, I've always been entrepreneurial. And once I saw that drones could actually be a business, I said, all right, this is something that I can, look into. And after I saw all the different applications and industries that would be using drones, I think at the time, PricewaterhouseCoopers came out with a huge industry report. I said, all right, this is something that I can actually, take advantage of. And I think it was sort of like the first mover, fear of missing out sense. And then, that really just got me. And this was before the Part 107. So there weren't even like really clear regulations at that point. But that was really like my starting point. Yeah. Some people had gotten a thing called the 333. Are you familiar with that? Yeah. 333 exemption. Yep. Yeah. So that was the one thing. But Part 107 didn't really start, I think, till 2016. 2016. Yep. Yeah. And I got mine in 2017. So, nice. It's one of those kind of pioneers to get on board. Yeah. And it was so funny is most people know, and especially people watching this channel, you take the test and it's like, what does this have to do with drones? Yeah. It's all about airplane, weather, exactly. Everything else is to be a pilot. Yep. Right. So what was your first drone? So my first drone was a Parrot Bebop. Parrot Bebop. I found it on Amazon. At the time, it was like probably $500 now. I'm
Hmm.
sure you could get it for like $50.
Yep.
But yeah, it was my first, drone. Had like kind of like the soft prop guards, on the
Oh
outside,
yeah.
and yeah,
I
yeah, it
have
was it
one
was
in my
pretty cool.
museum here. I have
Really
a museum of old drones, and
nice, nice,
I have a parrot just for that purpose.
nice.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, good times for
it
sure.
is, and I've got the original uh, Phantom One too for DJI.
Wow. Was that the red stripe or that was
Yeah, I
the
think
no
it has a
stripes
red
or
stripe, but you had to
no
put the
stripe?
GoPro underneath of it. There
That's
was no
right.
visual.
That's right.
You
No
flew it,
camera.
and then
That's
you
right.
hope for the best.
The good old days, right?
Right, right. So
Nice.
then, when did you get your first paid job? When did the drone turn into real money for you?
So that was about 2016. Real estate, was the low hanging fruit for us. Just like a
Hmm.
lot of other drone entrepreneurs, we just started to put our name out there. And to be honest, what worked well, and I'm sure a lot of other drone entrepreneurs know this strategy as well. But you have to kind of give a little to get your foot in the door. So we did some programs and some shot some homes for free, and just kind of gave that content to them, and that was more for like really low end real estate. Then we got our big break with kind of like luxury, more high end real estate, and did the same thing, shot a home for free, and then that led to plenty of other jobs from there. So
That's awesome. Yeah, and that's what most people do. As a matter of fact, reading some of your stuff, and we'll get into a little bit about your philosophy with the business. One of my favorites
yeah,
was something that I've used for years was the three tier. You give
hmm
them something as
yeah,
a high, you got your medium,
yeah,
you got your low
yeah,
fruit, so you don't miss
yeah,
anybody. You basically got something for everybody in the
yeah,
price range, and or give away a couple things. I love that concept. I do it too.
yeah,
I'm still
yep,
doing it
yeah,
because I feel like if I can just get people to to see what I can do,
yeah.
I'll hook them for life. Is what I'm hoping. So
Yeah, and part of that is just kind of business acumen. I mean, you don't want to give away everything to everyone, right? It's kind of understanding, hey, is this a long-term partner? Do I see a sustainable, relationship with them? If that's a no, then, you should charge up front. But if you feel like, yeah, this could lead to something big, then absolutely, give away that value and
sure, sure.
go from there.
And initially too, like looking for content just to put on my website. I needed pictures. I didn't want to borrow
Yep.
pictures from another.
Oh,
I
yeah.
didn't want to take stock pictures. I wanted pictures of
Mm-hmm.
that I
Your
had
own.
actually done. So for your first real estate jobs, what drone were you using for that? You weren't using the Parrot, were you?
No, no, no. So by that time, we had the Phantom 3. Later, so in early 2015, when I first kind of got hooked on it, that's when I, got the Parrot Bebop. And then later on, 2015, that's when I said, you know what, I have to have the right equipment. And yeah, went ahead and got the Phantom 3. And quick, funny and I guess could have been tragic, story, but I actually crashed my first two Phantom 3s.
Oh yeah,
Um,
that's part of the
Cash purchase.
part of owning a drone
Yeah,
is crashing it.
exactly. No insurance. So I'm sitting there like, oh my God, like, what do I do? And I always say, like, at that point, I could have just said, hey, you know what? This is a sign. This is not for me. But something in me said, you know what? You got to go get that third drone. And from there, everything really changed. So,
Yeah, yeah, that's true.
yeah.
That's true. Yeah, and the great thing I think I don't use the DJI insurance plan, but um,
Mm,
some people do, and I think it's probably been a great thing for a lot of people that have had problems with it.
absolutely.
Yeah. All right.
Absolutely.
So now you somewhere along this journey between 2005, you
Hmm.
decided to kind of pivot and become the master of the marketing, and I love
Sure.
it, and I'm really appreciative of what you've done. Tell me
Sure.
what was the impetus for that?
Yeah, so along the way, we actually started to do a lot of STEM trainings and after school summer camps in Baltimore. So what happened was we were doing our real estate and getting into construction type of jobs, and then we were also at the end of the day doing STEM programs. So we were doing a lot of things under one brand. So, and that was Global Air Media originally.
Mhm.
So, what we decided to do was break off the youth programs and STEM programs because we realized we could be getting grants and funding for youth STEM programs.
Right.
So we started a nonprofit called Global Air Drone Academy, another brand for you there. And so basically, that got us into like the training aspect. So we knew that, hey, we could actually train people. We put together curriculums. We were going to do, all these 8 and 10 week and summer long programs. So naturally, we fell into adult education. So really, like, kind of what happened is started to get a lot of experience internationally as well. A quick tidbit is anyone who's interested in international work, the U.S. Department of State, they actually have programs to help your business expand overseas. So it's from the Commercial Services Division, and you could go to them and say, hey, I want to do programs in France and they can connect you with like a business matchmaker. But so we did that for some years, and so that gave us a lot of experience. And of course, when COVID came around, I realized that we needed to put our training online. But what I didn't want to do is just create another Part 107 course. We have UAV Coach, we have Drone Launch Academy, all these guys out there. There's no reason for me to come out with another Part 107. So I started to think, like, what are the really crucial issues that drone businesses are going through? And it's getting leads, right? Everyone knows how to fly really well, but how do I, market my business? How do I get sales? How do I improve my networking? So I started to look around. I said, wow, there's no literature, there's no content that talks about the business of drones, right? It's all about flying.
Drones, right?
It's all about technical. Exactly. So I said, you know what? This is a blue ocean, right? This is literally, no one here. And I said, I'm going to start a drone business education brand. And that's all we talk about. It's like, we don't do Part 107. We don't do any of that. You come to us after you finish your Part 107. And that's kind of what birthed the Global Air U brand, where all we focus on is business.
Yeah, and there's another one. I won't mention names, but there was another one I threw a bunch of money into, and I was really disappointed. And I got to tell you, your pricing is so much more reasonable. I've looked into just having you do the counseling thing that you can do, consoling, your website, your logo, and all that kind of stuff. But I just bought something from you today. I bought your template. That you can go into Canva and make your own. And your template was $10, and it was beautiful. I mean, it really looks fantastic. And I was like, that's the kind of pricing, when you still, especially when you're still just building a business, you can't just turn around and drop $15,000 like some people to get involved into their program. And so I'm like, wow. So I really appreciate, what you've been doing and with that side of it. And again, like I've looked at things, your emotional cycle of change, really great little understanding of how you'll, come down and then come up once you realize, how to do this. Also the funnel of, getting your leads and that kind of stuff, really smart indicators that are easy to understand. And I mean, you give that stuff out for free. You're explaining that stuff on, right there on your site. It's not something you had to pay for. So a lot of people need to tune in and just listen to that and get the understanding of how you do it. And then, of course, if they want the extra coaching, that's where you'd come in, I guess, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the motto is, you give out as much value for free, as you can. And the only people that work with me are the ones that want to save time, right? They're like, hey, I'm trying to figure this out on my own. Right. I want to save time. But the same things I talk about online are the same things I talk about in our program. It's just, these folks just want to speed up the time. So,
That's cool. So what would be the most valuable single piece of information that you feel like you do through these programs that you offer somebody that is a game changer for them?
Yeah, I think honestly, it's just, just understanding that as an entrepreneur, as a drone entrepreneur, right? First of all, understanding the difference between an entrepreneur and a drone pilot, right? If you're going to call yourself a drone entrepreneur, there are certain things that an entrepreneur does, right? And your number one job is marketing and advertisement, right? It's not flying the drone. It's not repair. It's not reports. It's putting yourself out there and getting business. So I think the biggest change for me, actually, I ended up taking a copywriting course because I was just tired of not growing online on LinkedIn. I said, there's got to be a way that how are these people, growing? I saw a course and I said, you know what, I'm going to take this and understand how to do it. So it's really understanding that your role as an entrepreneur, again, is marketing, and you have to have the skills to do it, right? These aren't things that I knew I didn't go to school for marketing or anything like that, but along the way, I realized, hey, if I want to take it to the next level, I have to understand this, and it's kind of commitment to doing that. So.
Sure. Yeah, and I did read where you had taken that handwriting or writing class, and I thought about
Mhm.
that. Were there any other classes that you feel that you've ever taken that helped sharpen your whole picture of how to sell and how to do these things better? Anything else?
Absolutely. I'm in a coaching program myself right now, right? So it's teaching me how to market the program better, how to, advertise. So it's like, yeah, even the coaches need to be coached, right? You
There you go.
never know, everything. So yes, investing in yourself and transferable skills is, yeah, that's the most important. If I can point out four that are just kind of very crucial, it would
Hmm.
be, writing, speaking, marketing, and sales. And if
Correct.
you can honestly just dedicate just a little bit of time just to understanding a little bit more about what you should do, that will give you, an edge up on everyone else because there's a lot that aren't even thinking about it, right? They're like, hey,
Sure.
I know I need to be doing this, but they're not going to find the time. They're just going to keep going. So.
Well, those skills that you mentioned are kind of something that kind of falls into that AI world. What is your thoughts
Hmm.
about that? Because a lot of people, instead of using their brain, are
Yeah.
using AI. What do you think?
Yeah, so I'm a big ChatGPT AI fan user.
Hmm.
I think I've found a way to make it more of a superpower for me rather than like a crutch.
Hmm.
And I think that when you are using these tools, like first of all, we can get into like the details, but tools like ChatGPT, they're not thinking, right? It's just a math equation that they are coming up with, and
Sure.
based on your inputs, they're giving you the best possible outcome, right?
Hmm.
So you still have to like put that perspective, those type of insights. You have to feed it, more information to get it to where you want. But if you can find a way to like to do that efficiently, I mean, it's a game changer. I use it every day. It's like my
Sure.
personal assistant, and it saves me a lot of time on a lot of different tasks. But I'm also using it properly, and to the point, like when I write certain things, it's yeah. People are like, is that AI? Is that you? Like, it's like, and I like it like that, right? Because it's
Right.
like I can put my own spin on it and go from there. So
Let's talk about some of your travel to other countries. First of all, you said your dad was from Africa somewhere. Is it
Nigeria,
Nigeria?
yep,
Nigeria.
hmm,
And so you got to travel over there when you were young at any point.
yep,
So you kind of had
yep.
an understanding. And then you went over and you've got programs in Nigeria teaching those kids. Tell me, what are some of the great moments in that? That's bound to be really special in a country like that.
Yeah, well, for me, obviously, it's personal to be able to run a program like that in a place that, they are technically advanced, right? I mean, I know a lot of times we think about Africa, and it's kind of some assumptions come to mind, but I mean,
Hmm.
they know this technology, they have it, they use it as well. I think it's just at scale. There's a lot more people that need, the help. So in order to do that, I knew that with my experience, being a U.S. trained certified pilot, I could take that there. But I would say, even broader than just Nigeria, again, it's like leveraging our relationship with the U.S. Department of State and the embassies that we work with. So we've worked with embassies and U.S. embassies specifically in the UK, in the UAE. I've even gone to Turkmenistan, which is a country I couldn't even spell when they
Right.
when they asked me to come. And then a lot, of course, in Africa as well, Zambia, Kenya, Nigeria. So just being able to like travel and do what you love and teach people, like,
Sure.
I mean, what else do you want? Like, what else can you ask for? So that has really just kind of kept the drive and kept the spirit there. And yeah, to affect. And I've literally seen. I mean, just from my 9 years in the industry, I mean, I've literally seen people that I taught maybe 4 or 5 years ago, and now they're running their own companies, or maybe they're even working for us in some capacity. So it's like it's more about what happens after, right? It's not just kind of a 1 day program and hey, good luck. We're trying to build sustainable programs for sure.
That's cool. You have any success stories? Anybody that's risen to the top that you want to talk about?
Yeah, I mean, I have a few interns that have started with us in Nigeria. Now they're like in Canada working for large, aviation
Hmm.
firms. Another one just moved to UK for aerospace technology and things like that. So yeah, we have some really really good case studies, and like, again, we're building community, so we're always in touch with these folks and can give them advice and things along the way.
That is so neat. That is so neat. And you got a brother in the same business, because I have to tell you the story. I didn't know you had a brother till about 2 hours ago. I'm talking to a friend of mine, and I said, I'm actually going to be on a chat with Eno. And he goes, he said, you mean Ime, right? Ime? And I said, no. Ime. He said, Ime. He said, I met Ime the other week. I said, no. His name is Eno. And so we argued for a second, and then we looked at online. We go, no, there's two of them. Same last name.
Oh yeah. Definitely.
And your brother was at one of the camps. We were involved with a camp down here in Virginia.
That's right. Yeah.
And he came and spoke and helped, and apparently was really entertaining. And my friend said he was great. They had lunch and said he was awesome. So
that's awesome. Yeah, with Skydio and like some program that they did down there. Yeah.
So
nice.
And here's a crazy story too. I'll tell you real quickly. One guy that's an engineer at Skydio used to work for me as a kid. When he was 16, he used to help me shoot video and do all kinds of AV related stuff. And now he's an engineer at Skydio. So you just never know. Whoever you help, it's always an opportunity for them to grow and get somewhere special.
Absolutely.
So when you're flying in Africa, I got to go to Greece a couple months ago, and I got myself registered with ESA and flew over there under that and was able to unlock my drone for a number of really neat flights, including over the Parthenon and over Mykonos. And I had some beautiful shots. And I didn't know if I was going to be able to do any of this stuff, but I took a drone with me, just a Mini 3 Pro, just to see if I could make it happen. Worked out great. So if that goes on, if you go to Africa, do they have their own FAA and regulation system that you've got to go through?
Yeah. So, each country, of course, has their own set of rules and regulations. I mean, there's 54 different CAAs, right? Civil Aviation Authorities. So it really just depends on which country, you're going to. Some countries are more strict than others. And, but there definitely are ways to get approvals, before coming in. I would say some of the easier countries to fly in, something like, Kenya, Zambia, South Africa, places that you can, just register online or through a colleague, on ground. But yeah, it does get very tricky. And one of the things that we're doing to fix that is actually coming out with sort of like a Africa drone report that will list each country and then kind of list, what their rules and laws are, and just make it easy for people that want to travel there. Because there's a lot of travel.
That would be so fantastic, because it's there's somebody had some series like that about Europe, and I watched those. And so when I went over there, I didn't have any problem. I knew what I had to do.
Nice.
And this would be great. Love to see you do that.
No,
really
definitely. We'll do that for sure. Awesome.
Oh gosh. So tell me about what will Global Air or Masterminds be doing tomorrow, and what will they be doing in 10 years or 20 years? What do you think? What's your thoughts?
Yeah, so, we have a lot of great partnerships in place. I would say the most immediate thing is our participation in commercial UAV. And so we'll be in Vegas in a couple of weeks, and hopefully some of the viewers will be there as well. If you are there, we're actually going to be doing free brand audits for every company that's there. And
is that your event, or are you just a sponsor? How are you connected?
Yeah, so we're just partners. We're partnering with them for this, and so they're essentially giving us a booth to do these audits for businesses that come. And so we have like a checklist. We'll look at your website, we'll look at your LinkedIn profile, and kind of, give you some on the spot advice on your business. So that'll be definitely throughout the conference. I can even give you like a code if anyone wants to get like a free exhibitor pass or $100 off, of the conference. There's a code for that as well. And then another big partnership that we have coming up, and this actually isn't like fully announced yet, but I'm fine telling it, here. But we're just completing a business course with UAV Coach. So they're going to be hosting our drone business course on their website. And so people will be able to go there, learn about the foundations of building a drone business. What are that checklist of things that you have to have in place to really, expand. So really excited about that partnership, and we're releasing that on September the 10th. So
Wow, congratulations. That's big news.
Appreciate it.
That's awesome.
Appreciate
Well,
it.
you've done an
Thank
incredible job with your whole, plight through the drone world, which is continuing to grow. And,
Yeah.
I'm so thankful that, there's been people out there that have provided me with, information. I just took a course with FLIR to get my
Mm.
thermography
Mm-hmm.
class, and a certificate,
Mm-hmm.
which is great.
Yeah.
You pay for those kind of things, and you don't
Yeah.
mind paying for the kind of information that you're giving, because all of
Sure.
those things. And thank God, where was the internet when I was a kid? Because
Right.
I would have been so smart by now.
Oh yeah.
It's a shame it took till I was 60 years old before I could understand, the
Sure.
power of education, and it
Yeah.
really is so incredible. And
Definitely.
getting somebody like yourself who's already kind of taken the path to kind of give you that information in a succinct way that you can understand,
Yeah.
and hopefully become better at whatever you're doing. Really, you wouldn't
Yeah.
necessarily be the drone business, some of the stuff you teach, but
Yeah.
specifically because I'm in the drone business, and some of my friends are trying to go full time in the drone business. They
Mm-hmm.
need somebody to guide them through this
Yeah.
maze, right? And you're
Yeah.
doing
Yeah.
something that is incredible. So I thank you.
Yeah.
I think the drone world
Appreciate that.
thanks you what you're doing.
Appreciate that.
Absolutely, it's amazed.
Thank
I'd
you.
like to continue. Maybe I'll see you in Vegas. I'm thinking about going
Yeah.
out there to
You should come,
try
man.
to catch up
That'd
with
be
that.
awesome.
I went to Miami a year ago to the Drone Nerds event down there.
Okay.
That was fun.
Yeah. I've been getting some emails about them. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And of course, you go to Miami. It's
Yeah.
never a bad time.
Think so, of course. Of course.
But it was a great seminar too, and got to meet some good people. So I hope that I get to
Awesome.
meet you in person. What
Yeah.
an absolute pleasure it was talking to you today. I'm going to
Appreciate that.
continue. A matter of fact, I think, especially after reading more on you before I called you for this interview, I think I'm
Yeah.
signing up for you to do an audit on my business.
Awesome.
Yeah,
Yeah. Let's do it.
I need
Let's
you.
do it.
I really do
Yeah.
need you. So
Sure.
thanks again,
Good stuff.
and
Thank you for having me.
hope to see you soon. Take care.
Yeah.
Fly
Appreciate it.
safe.
Thanks so much. Yeah. Thank you.
Wow. He's quite an entrepreneur.
He really
Very
is.
motivational.
Oh, yeah, he's highly motivated. I mean, this is a guy who's been all over the world
Oh, yeah.
doing what we love to do. And I envy him. It's just amazing what he's doing. And he's still young enough that I know he's going to keep this up, and he's growing.
Yeah.
He gave away the little secret at the end about joining up with another company
Oh, yeah.
to share his information. So he is growing and growing and growing. And so best of luck to you. I look forward to meeting you in
it's-
person.
Like I said before, man, this is just the beginning of the gold rush.
That's right.
Or the drone rush.
By the way, he mentioned at the end, and I'm hoping maybe you and I can go
Yeah.
in September. The UAV Expo is in Las Vegas.
The more place we go, the better we're connected.
Exactly, and everybody's going to be there.
Oh, yeah.
They must have 40 different speakers. They've got all these other
Yeah.
major sponsors there with booths, so it's going to be incredible. I kind of really hope that we can figure out how to get there.
Maybe we'll get a press pass, credential pass.
That's right. We can do some interviews.
Oh, yeah.
Awesome. Well, I think it's about time for some news stories.
Oh, yes.
Okay.
Yes. All right. So, Gary, I know you're a cat person.
I am. I do. I have a
Okay.
brand new kitten.
Yep. And I had a recurring nightmare when I was younger. The Terminator, right?
Okay.
Arnold coming for me.
Yeah.
And then later on, I had another nightmare of terminating his dog coming to me, And I would have probably...
Wait a minute. Did Terminator have a dog on the
No,
show?
no,
You did?
my dream.
You dreamt this.
Yeah, I
Okay.
dreamt this, and somebody
Got into your head.
Somebody got my head and created the Terminator dog. So this is my story.
Okay.
So basically, what's going on is in the Ukraine. You know about the drone story. Now they have ground drones called dogs, robotic dogs, and these things are awesome. They have about 65-minute runtime. They can self-right. They have AI built into them, so when it runs into a tree or it sees a barrier, it can actually correct itself and change its path. It can carry up to 50 pounds, and the Ukrainian army is using it for search and rescue, delivery of goods, even doing scouting with it.
Wow.
You know, and you can see it's just Ukrainian army is not the only one. The U.S. Army has been giving money to Boston Dynamic. You know, the Boston Dynamic drone took 20 years for Boston Dynamic to develop. You saw the big dog, little dog, and the mule where they carry loads. You've seen those videos.
Oh, yeah. I mean, actually, they've been developing this thing for 10 years.
Exactly. And so finally, Boston Dynamic developed a robot called Spot. And they sell it. Guess for how much? $74,000, right? And, you know, that's out of my price range. But what happened? You know, as anything, a good idea is going to be adopted or copied by the Chinese, and you can get one now from Amazon for under $4,000 that does the same thing Spot does.
Go Amazon.
And it's insane. And now every country is using these drones, these robotic dogs. They're really fairly lightweight, you know?
Sure.
And you can put camouflage on it.
The $4,000 one is as good as the $72,000?
$72,001?
Yeah.
I mean, shoot. With $74,000, forget the Boston Dynamic dog. I'll get the Chinese version. I'll probably get 10 of these.
Sure.
You know?
Yeah.
And they have swarm capability. So you can actually line these up into a minefield and just have them search. You can put LiDAR on it. You can put metal detector. And these things can actually go where people can't go.
Sure.
Have you seen the scene from Private Ryan where someone has to go through the minefield?
Yeah. And
It's risky. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
You know, if they had the dog back in World War II,
computers have no fear. They don't
no fear.
Not
exactly.
Yet.
Yep.
They'll probably figure out that.
And then you see, and then in Russia bought a Chinese version, and they cover it into this ninja garb right here.
I like the ninja
and put a
look.
bazooka on it. You know.
Holy cow.
And this scene right here is actually from the Chinese Communist Party. They are trying to put machine guns on top of the
It's got an AR
dog.
on top of it.
Yep, and I can see it for riot control.
So are these controlled by somebody remotely somewhere?
Yes, you can, and also you can do waypoints.
Okay.
And
It'll
again,
just take off and get
yep,
there
and
and
you
come
can
back.
it comes back, and it can correct itself.
And what's the battery life?
The battery life? Some of these, the lower end model for 2,000, you can get 20 minutes. The high end model, you can get up to 60 minutes.
Okay. So for right
Yeah.
now, they're kind of short range.
They're short range, yeah. They can't be all day.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, if they figure out how to put something in it that can hold it all day, when it
Yeah.
could go from 50
Yep.
miles across the terrain,
Yeah,
that's really going to be.
You can see the
game changer.
Boston Dynamic version right here. This one here with Spot, it's actually designed for patrol, for like security. And so when it's out of charge, it actually locates the charger and rests and charge. So you can have 3 or 4 of these dogs
Right.
to guard a military base.
Sure, and you could have the chargers on solar,
Exactly.
and so they kind of take care of themselves
Indefinitely.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
wild.
that is crazy.
That is a cool news story. My news story is one from New York, from Queens, and it's the use of drones. You know, we've talked about this in previous episodes. You know, I made my little "Where are the drones?"
Oh, yes.
stickers.
I remember that.
If anybody wants one, just instant message me and I'll send you some.
Oh, yeah.
Anyway, because we know that drones are being used in police precincts all over the country.
All over the country.
And Queens is no exception, as they were able this past week to apprehend 3 guys who did a home invasion. There were 8 people, including a 1-year-old, in this home invasion. One of the kids was able to call 911, and the police came, and the first thing they did was put the drone in the air. And
What kind of drone was it?
that gave the police force
Yeah.
a look inside the building, around
Officer
the building.
safety.
Yeah.
Situation
and-
awareness.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Huge difference. And what was interesting, because it was dark, the men took off, and the drone was able to see them with infrared,
Yeah.
knew where they
Flare.
went, and the cops were able to arrest them, and so they're facing all kinds of charges. But again, a win for drones.
Oh, yes, definitely.
You know,
Saves so much life.
love to see that happen.
Yeah.
And again, more and more opportunity for drones to get a good
Yeah.
name.
Yeah, I'm against arming drones, but I am for the use of it for public safety.
Sure. Wow. So anyway, that's our news stories today, and I think we get ready for Prak's tips.
All right, but this time I'm giving you my tip, and you can take over.
I didn't know what he meant by that. All right, here we go. So Prak's tips, I still use your logo because I love the logo. I wouldn't want to miss that for anything.
Definitely.
But today's Prak's tips is kind of a unique situation happened to me.
Yeah, you ran into it.
Yeah, this happened to me. I was out there, and as many of you know, I have all kinds of drones. This is one goes in the Matrice.
Yep.
This is one that goes in the Inspire 2.
Yep.
This is the old original Mavic,
Oh,
right?
yes.
Mavic
Yes.
2.
Yep.
This is the Mavic 3, right? And these are batteries that they're used for the controllers and for the good controllers. And I don't know if you've ever used RTK. The same controller that usually just have to just use the internal battery, you can hot swap these out on those so that you never lose a
So what happened?
controller.
Tell me your story.
I'm out there doing my RTK, and it's summertime, right?
Oh, yes.
So things are a little warmer than usual. I'm out over an open field, which is probably radiating a lot of heat, right? And my drone comes back, as you do with RTK, you have to change the batteries depending on the size of the mapping that you might be doing. It has to come back once, twice, sometimes 3, 4 times.
Oh, yes.
And change the battery. Well, this particular day, it lands after battery number 2, and I can't get the battery out of the drone. I'm pulling for all I'm worth. This is this is the battery, and I'm like this, okay? But you can see I finally pulled it out, okay?
You can see it's swollen.
It is swollen. And we'll do some close-ups of this, but it is really swollen, and it was actually much worse than this. It's gone down, but when it reached temperature, it swole up, and then it couldn't unlock itself.
Oh yeah, because it's not only will it swollen, it pushes the locking mechanism. So when you press down, it's hard to get. And plus, you know why it does that, right? You got cathode and anode, and all these batteries have something in common. They use a lithium slurry. It's like a gel, a liquid gel. And so when cathode and anode is overcharged and heat is introduced into it, you create it forms a crystal called dendrites. When 2 dendrites from 2 layers hit, it causes a combustion, a slight combustion that leads to air, vaporization.
Okay.
So you have this liquid fill. But whatever you do, don't try to puncture it to leak out the air, because you might cause a chain reaction.
And it catches on fire.
It catches on fire just like that.
Right. And that's why these things are so, we talked about this once before. I use military grade steel boxes to keep my, 60 probably different batteries that I own here safe in my home, because I'm afraid that they might, they could just combust. So anyway, this one was a bad one. So immediately I grabbed a marker and I wrote bad on it. Because I didn't want to ever use it again.
I would never use it again. This particular battery uses passive cooling. As you can see, you have these little vents. The drone itself has a fan, a small little fan that blows through it. But when you blow hot air into hot air, you get more hot air, and so it overheats. DJI has to consider maybe limiting the amount of flight, but I can see, were you flying into the wind?
It was a windier day, so it was working hard.
Yeah, it's working really hard. It was you can fly on a hot day if it's not windy. So again, on a windy day, cut your flight time maybe to half of what you normally do.
Sure. So the bottom line is, if it looks like this, swollen, don't use it, right? It's bad.
Do you have a slogan? If it's swollen, consider it stolen.
That might work. All right, that's my Prak tip. Today, it was our tips today.
Yes, our tips.
We worked that one together. Good job. And now it's time for cool drone stuff.
Right on. What you got today, Gary?
All right, so my cool drone stuff today, another thing you can buy on Amazon.
What is that, pager?
It looks like a little teeny page, It's about 1 inch by 1 inch, and it is a remote ID.
Remote ID, and a small little thing.
Yeah, from Hollystone.
Did you charge it?
You have to charge it with a C,
Oh, yeah, right there, USB-C.
Yep. You hold it, and I think we were playing with it earlier. We killed the charger was in it.
Yep.
But seriously, it's a tiny little thing, and it's from Hollystone. same people that were giving away their drone, right?
Okay.
And we're looking for more subscriptions, so make sure you touch the bell and
subscribe. Yeah.
Subscribe for us.
Notification.
Yeah, if we get enough subscriptions, we're going to give away that drone, which, by the way, I did a good hard open box on it, and it flew pretty well, yeah.
Did you do a range test?
I didn't do a long range test. I really didn't. I kind of kept it, just in the neighborhood if I would. I took it up over the trees. I brought it down.
GPS signal worked well?
GPS signal, when I first turned it on, it drifted a little bit, but then it got stable. So,
Okay.
Good job, Hollystone.
Yeah, you get what you pay for.
Well, that one was a
That's pretty
promotion.
good. Oh, it's pretty good.
Yeah. I think if
Yeah.
you buy that particular drone, it's only
Yeah.
about $400.
That's a pretty good drone.
Yeah. So again, Hollystone's making a remote ID. So if you need a remote ID on any of your drones that don't have remote ID already built into the systems, my Aspire 2 does not for some reason.
Yeah, and the old DJI Mavic, the original first gen.
Right. So you can Velcro this on, and for only $90 from Hollystone, it's available on Amazon. You can be legal. Right?
That's right.
So there you go. That's my cool drone stuff. Was that all I got for cool drone stuff?
Yes.
We notice you're always dressing up nice, and I didn't wear my polo today. I wore one of my T-shirts.
Oh, yeah.
The iFlow drones.
You
Okay?
always have the nice...
But I got something for you to wear if you want to get a little casual. Look what I got for
what
you.
is this? Oh, wow. It's a
Yep.
bullseye.
No, it's the points of interest.
I got it.
Anyway,
Yeah.
it's a cool shirt, and
That
if
is
anybody
nice.
wants one, just contact us, and for $14.95, we can get you one of those too.
And we'll sign it.
We can
We'll
sign
sign
it.
it.
If you'd like for us, if you
Yeah.
don't want us to sign it, we won't sign it
Because
for
you know we're going to be famous one day.
That's
if
right.
not already.
That's right.
Did
Hey,
you go to a show somewhere and they knew who we were?
I did. That was the funniest thing. Like, people had actually heard of us, and I was like, "Really?" Yes, yeah. And it was actually during a course. I was taking a course, and the guy said, "Hey, I realize where I know you from now."
And this
I
guy was
like,
a bigwig too.
"Yeah," and I was like, "Where?" And he goes, "Well, I used to DJ, so a lot of people saw me DJ.
Yeah.
But you have to live in Richmond to probably have seen me." And he goes, "Oh, from the DroneCast," and I was like, "Oh my!"
You were floored.
I fell on the floor.
You called me.
Yeah.
You told me, you're like, they know us.
We're famous. We're internet famous.
Yes.
Oh my gosh. Well, listen, been a great show.
Yes.
Thank you.
Awesome.
Thank you to Eno for being our interview this week.
Thank you, Eno.
And we've got some more great people coming up that I've already got on tap, and can't wait for it. So make sure you check us out. Subscribe to us. You might
Hit
win
the
a
bell
drone.
icon.
Right.
Yep.
So I'm Gary,
I'm Prak.
and thanks a lot for joining us.
Safe flying.